Doom or opportunity. The financial crisis in 2008 was a crisis in which the stock market crashed due to a bad administration and bad decisions were done in the housing market. Built on debt, complexity, and misplaced confidence, this crisis was cataloged as the worst crisis after the Great Depression. It didn't only affect the United States. Other countries were affected like Canada, Mexico, United Kingdom, Estonia, etc. After the 9/11, the Federal Reserve lowered the federal funds rate from 6.5% in May 2000 to 1% in June 2003. This decision led to an upward spiral in home prices as borrowers took advantage of low mortgage rates to buy homes. In June 2004, the Fed started raising rates and the federal funds rate reached 5.25% 2 years later. After the Fed started to raise rates, the borrowers couldn't finish to pay the money that they owed to the lenders or banks in this case. Then home prices started to fall and they couldn't sell their houses without owing money to the lenders. Over 8.8 million jobs were lost in the US alone. Global GDP contracted by 2.1% in 2009 and entire industries were ratified by the shockwaves. After this, there was a banking reform in which governments introduced new rules to make banks more accountable. What would I have done differently in those years to avoid this crisis? So I think there was no solutions to avoid 100% this crisis, but I do think that the consequences will have been not that bad. One of the solutions that I would have proposed as a member of the Fed will be to put regulators to those banks that were giving housing loans. Then I will have to ask for stricter checks on borrowers' ability to pay back their loans. And as my last idea, I wouldn't have kept those Fed rates that were too low for too long after the 2001 recession. With only these three ideas or solutions, banks will have to hold more capital reserves, working as safety money in case of losses. With stricter checks, banks could have stopped overlending and speculative home buying earlier. And with my last idea, we will have had a chance to make a more balanced rate policy, avoiding or slowing the housing market bubble problem. Thank you.